Hello everybody and welcome to another YouTube video. I'm Wardi, and of course today we're going to be jumping into even more awesome StarCraft 2 action. This is a match from the World Team League, Kaizi Gaming versus Team GP. It's Reynor versus Ryung, one which you would imagine Reynor's going to be pretty favored in, but Ryung has been on a pretty hot streak lately. He had a cool run in Katowice, and it was a pretty entertaining series to watch. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I also slapped in a couple of games that came after this one. At the end of this as well, so it's going to be followed by Solar versus Prince, bit of PvZ if you're interested in that. And we did skip the first two games, which was Spirit versus Cham. Not the best games, kind of long, but bit of back and forth TVZ. That's why the series is 1-1. So enjoy and have fun. Probably feels like a favorite here, so he's just going to open pool first and play a safe game, right? As long as he doesn't die early, he probably feels comfortable in a later game. So, yeah, we'd rather just take a pool first and potentially have to play against the two Rackers that gets out of hand or so. Of course, great to have Reynor in World Team League now. Unfortunately, we lost Maru this season, but we did gain Reynor as he joined Kaizi Gaming. And I imagine Maru will be back next season. I imagine On-Side Gaming plan to take part in the World Team League as well. There's our wonderful World Team League logo in the middle of the map. Beautiful. So yeah, maps 3 and 4 will be this ZVT between Reynor and Ryung. See what ends up happening. Honestly, like I say, mostly interested, I think, in how Ryung's going to play this. I feel like we know Reynor's going to play pretty comfortably, pretty confidently. You know, probably mix in a couple different styles, perhaps. But is Ryung going to crank out some mech? Is he going to play bio? Is he going to try and 2-base all in? End it early? You know, is he happy to let the game get drawn out into a much later state of the game? You know, I feel like these are all very good questions that, yeah, honestly, it's Ryung is a versatile player, I think, more than anything else. He's very capable of playing a lot of different styles, and that's very fun, because then you don't quite know what to fully expect from him. And again, a map like Hardwire, good first map for Reynor, for sure. Definitely one of the ones the Zergs would usually pick in a best of 3, although the Terrans don't mind this one as much. It's quite easy to hold out late game on. Just wondering if we could maybe see Ryung play some mech here, as these feelings do show up. Well, first try and get some damage done, but Reaper and a couple of Marines going to be more than enough to turn this around, and all of these things will be dead with an, you know, pretty much inconsequential amount of damage dealt. Which is fine, because it wasn't meant to deal major damage either. I do think this pool first was more so for safety than anything else. He's going to be having a link speed coming up about halfway done. A couple of Queens still coming through, and a couple of Hellions from Ryung are starting up as the Reaper goes in after this Ling. Going to get one, actually going to get another one. So Ling's at link speed, not great. And oh, are we going to get the other one? I said he was. Oh god, he's chased this so hard he's going to lose the Reaper. Oh no! Oh my goodness! Wow. I actually thought that was... Actually, I think that might have been a mistake from Reynor. I think he could have pathed this to actually be okay. Oh my god, he does kill the Ling! I told you guys he'd get the Ling! Didn't I tell you? Smartest caster in the world right there. Smartest caster in the world. I saw it coming, guys. I saw the Reaper making the incredible getaway, but and getting the Ling in the end. I knew it all along. I doubted myself a little bit because it was just such a good call. It was such a good call, I had to doubt it at least a little bit. Ugh. Anyone want to interview me? How does it feel to be the greatest caster of all time? Well, you know what? I mean, it's pretty good. What's the greatest caster of all time? The G code. Yeah, nice. The G code. I'm the G code. Hell yeah. The G code. Someone gonna get me a G code now. So, we're just gonna be getting up. Viking is flying away. Overlord is getting pinged out a little bit. That is going to be the Overlord ending up dying off here. So nice little pick off from Ryung. Just going to see the two Hellions in the center continue to run around. And, well, yeah, as we get a rumbling, our factory's going to move off the reactor, move off over to the side, and wait for the next part of this. Can I tell you about your future? No, I can't tell you about your future. I mean, unless you're in the game. If you get into a pro game and I end up casting, I can probably tell you your future, but right now? No. I'm a caster, not a fortune teller. My powers are limited within StarCraft 2. Or at least those who are playing StarCraft 2. Not best caster? Wow. He's so mean. Helion's gonna find a few lings here, actually, and do pretty well for themselves. Lip Siege is dead center on this queen. Reynor's gonna lose that, I think. He does have roaches up, though. And he is gonna deflect this with roaches right now. And it looks like he's gonna keep playing the roaches. Not really anything else set up here for him. So, yeah, gonna keep playing roaches into this mid-game. So you're not gonna see the drones actually gonna get pushed away. Queen actually in some trouble as well. We do get these Hellions to get rid of a couple creep chambers at the front, and that's fantastic, denying that creep spread. Yeah, Reynor's just been a little bit slower on the defense than I expect. And you know, if this was anyone but Reynor, I'd say they're doing a pretty good job. It's just because Reynor sets this high expectation in the first place. It's like, oh god, he's taking, just like I say, more than we expect Reynor to take. Not necessarily Zergs, but just Reynor specifically. So yeah, Ryung definitely getting off to a reasonable start in this game. Would love to see if he can follow this up with further aggression, because I feel like the worst thing you can do is just let Reynor sit for a bit, get comfortable, and then he controls the game. So I love this. Marines already on the map in medevacs. Keep that action rolling, because the moment Reynor gets a break in the action and he gets to be the one running by, setting up attacks, you're in trouble. And sometimes, you know, even you being the aggressor isn't going to stop Reynor from doing that, and that's the power of Reynor. That's the strength in how he plays. But I think it's definitely a you know, something to note here for sure. One missiles, roach speed all coming up. Just gonna see our medevacs loading up, and a few Marines coming around with that. Aliens out down the far left-hand side. There you go. Roach is going to run into this little group of Marines, though, and see if they can force that back, which they do. We are continuing into the 1-1 Roach upgrades, so we really commit heavily into that for now. That's Viking. Runs away to the upper right-hand side. Just going to be seeing another hatchery out in the front, and this Viking is going to go in after that Overlord, so putting some pressure out. He's going to find a big sim on this right-hand side. Going to catch some of these queens. Then again, Reynor just, as he loses this creep spread, may have some weaknesses on the map now. This hatchery going to be under fire. I mean, queens are quite far away to be able to transfuse it. We target it down. Oh, we only escaped with one medevac Marines, though. I loved this until I saw how little he got away with. And I think upon seeing how little he gets away with, you kind of got to look at that and say, oh god, that wasn't actually good, right? Like, this started out as a cool idea. I actually didn't mind the attempt of it, but all said and done, don't think you can say that that was a good thing at the end, because he lost so much. If he kept even like 2 medevac units alive, then I think this would have been absolutely great, but now I'm very concerned, actually. Now I'm really worried about how this is going to continue. Because Reynor, with 1-1 finish on those roaches, maybe he could just set up an attack on the back end of that. He doesn't. He's moving to Hive. He's moving to melee upgrades, Banelane speed. He is switching out of just the pure roach setup, so switching up a little bit, making this look a little bit different. Some medevacs from the left will get into it as we have more Marines coming up in the center here as well. Roach Ravager trying to move forward and push this army back. Medevacs do have to lift up and get out of there. So escaping on away. Well, 2 spires from Reynor, so that's definitely something, to say the least. Double spire setup. Gonna be kind of fun. Interested to see, I mean, does he really believe he's gonna need like Gridlords or so? Because that's what you set up for on double spire, right? You're gonna get a lot of air upgrades. Really prioritize those corruptors in the later stages here. Yeah, very interested to see where we end up with all of this as we gotta move along. Extra round of Banelings is gonna be morphing in there. The Marine tank running up this right-hand side to get involved as well, and this is going to be, again, Ryung staying on the offensive. It is kind of funny because when Reynor plays these roaches early, what does happen is, you know, I mentioned I like Reynor being able to be the aggressor and being all over the place, but the roaches don't let him do that. So then he's stuck kind of playing this, which is it's a little bit tougher to make work in that regard, as roaches keep on being chased away. This Bioforce actually doing a great job of fighting over here. Ryung taking some very good trades at the moment, I think it has to be said. Needs to fight into these roaches, these Ravagers, trying to clean up a few more of them. His numbers are dropping down a little bit unfavorably. He has one medevac to escape with. You know, lift up a couple of those tanks and take them away. Off on a journey elsewhere. Ling Roach Ravagers still moving down the bottom left side, but no luck so far as the medevacs with the tanks will evacuate. So at least he keeps some of the heavier tech units alive. Reynor just rebuilds instantly. He is on his way to those Broodlords, and it does feel like that's just, you know, what he really plans on using to have a force that can then break Ryung down. So I guess we'll see if it's going to be effective or not. Well, tanks firing up. A Stormling's already taking some damage. High Force backs it up a little bit, and we'll get rid of a little bit of creep spread over here as well. See, the fact that creep spread is on the Terran side of the map is not exactly a good thing, though. Denying creep on this side is almost a must-do rather than a, you know, a little bit of, oh, it's nice to get rid of some creep sometimes, right, guys? No, this is, like, absolutely essential. Must get rid of this creep, otherwise you're in trouble. Planetary Force at least will hold its own against this initial round of Lings, but there are going to be Banes showing up as well. As the Mineral Line evacuates now, Marine's actually going to get hit by these Banes too. Planetary goes down, and even a few Banelings left to spare towards the end of that. Just going to push all of this away. Another couple of Corsive Bars, not quite landing. Roaches trying to move through. A nice little snipe on one of those roaches from the Ghost. Medevac's just unloading on the left-hand side. Italy going to be found again. Reynor continues to control this game nicely. He needs to really move around comfortably. He seems to know where he needs to be. A pretty good job of this so far. That roach still just sat on the 6 o'clock position, and Morling Bane on the way through here from Reynor will continue to crank that out. Little Ghost in the front, almost getting jumped on, doesn't quite make it though. It's a lot of Lingbane. Reynor send up this run forward. He does have the Vipers. He's gonna abduct a tank here rather than Blinding Cloud, which I think is smart. I don't think with all the other tanks there, that's a position you want to run into. So Blinding Cloud on one single tank isn't going to make the difference. But being able to abduct that one tank in is something you can then kill, and like I say, make a play out of then eventually. These two medevacs come down the left-hand side, and again, just haven't really found enough luck in the top left. There's been moments where I feel like Ryung's done pretty well, but it just feels like it's all been insignificant to how well Reynor's just bounced back from any damage Ryung has been able to do. It's never like Ryung has been taking serious, important bases off of Reynor. It's not like he's ever really cut deep into the drone count. Reynor just building the bank, now building Broodlords as well. I do think those Broodlords are going to have a pretty big statement to have in this game. They're going to be a pretty big part of Reynor being able to close this out, perhaps, because obviously with so many tanks in play from Ryung as well, the tanks get negated by Broodlords, because if they're firing at Broodlings, which are on top of your Marines, and then you're friendly firing, then you don't really want the tank siege, but if the tank's on siege, the Ling Bane gets to run in much more easily, and that is generally the problem that Broodlords can create, so we'll see if Reynor can get them into play like that. That's going to be, I think, our next big question and answer in this game, and potentially will be game deciding. Of this base, which It's nice, don't get me wrong. But it's not like Reynor is desperate to have that base right now. It's not like it's one of his current key mining bases. I think that's the big issue, right? Is that a base like that at the moment is just not very important in the grand scheme of things, because he can rebuild that in plenty of time before he really needs to mine it. So, yeah, not the end of the world losing out on that one just yet. Those do chase quite far forward on creep, but obviously had that cloak to keep them safe, and they do get rid of some creep spread. And at least that is going to push Reynor back a little bit. On this right side going to come in and grab a sense tower already. We're going to go in. Refinery's taking some shots, and kind of cool, not even going just full frontal attack with these Broodlords, but just picking away from the side, still finding interesting positions to play from. And now we're going to see, I mean, Ryung just moving forward here. Maybe felt he was safe, but the Banes and Lings are here, and not a single one of these tanks was sieged. All Marines go down, all tanks die. That was such an intriguing move from Ryung. I mean, I understand maybe if he didn't think there was anything there, but fails like that should have been horrible for Ryung. He does instantly rebuild, or instantly gets remaxed here, as a few ghosts are making life difficult in the bottom right. The Infestor's not able to do enough. I believe the EMP's landing very well there to be able to mask any threat from the Infestors. I'm just going to have Lings streaming in this position, although just Lings restricts his choices on what he can really do. He picks off this planetary, and again, just going for base after base, making sure Ryung cannot get a comfortable, bank up or anything. And then even if you start losing some of these more expensive units, you almost always seem to have something of a chance to turn it around and get back into it, That seems to be the case right now, is just having our SCVs still working on that left-hand side. Infest is coming up, Corruptor, +2 Fire Carapace coming in. And these Broodlords aren't going to drop down, CC forced to lift on up already. Things running again. There's a lot of SCVs that'll be going down. Here's the Banes to connect. My goodness, that was a hell of a run by. 27 workers going down. I mean, the SCVs were already down to the Lings, but then a few Banes just get in there to finish them off as well. It was pretty deadly, right? I mean, it's pretty nice. Just gonna see Liberator setting up on the left-hand side. Let's discuss this little bit of a siege position set up. SCC on the bottom right can set up as well. And yeah, still just some Wingbane Ravager in the middle of the map at the moment here from Reynor. All collecting up, couple Viking shots. Don't push the Broods away, as we'll land the Viking immediately. Ooh, that's a nice snipe. Grab the Overseer. Game settles down a bit. Is able to really kind of sit back. Everyone's able to see things a little bit clearer now. Reynor still just has a massive bank, and working through that as Ryung is going to be difficult, but of course Reynor is going to struggle somewhat to still get through the army of Ryung, so especially when it's just sitting back defensively, it's very difficult to break those kind of situations down. So come these few Marines picking their way through that hatchery, and here come the rest of these Lings running down here as well. Couple bars going down, Orbital taking some hits. There goes this hatchery, does truly fall. Zerglin's gonna get burrowed up beneath the command center. Moment, it's gonna do a pretty good job of just blocking this from landing, and again, just delay economy a bit further, force another scan that Ryung doesn't really want to have to spend. This gun's coming out. Marine's still pushing through and just going to aim for Well, if there was anything here, there's lava, but that's going to die as the group spread recedes anyway, so... What do we want to do here on either side? I mean, Reynor, I think, is doing the right thing. He's just keeping Ryung back. He's building his own bank up further, mining any base he can, and stopping Ryung from building bases where or mining from bases where possible. What does Ryung need to do? Is that's an interesting burrow. Not sure that was intentional. Ryung, his power is in just one big army. Like, he doesn't have rebuild potential, so yeah. I mean, I was actually, I guess, gonna get there a bit later than it started to happen, but. Just maybe one big fight, right? That's probably his best chance right now, because anything that's drawn out doesn't seem to be going his way. At least with one big movement, one big fight, even if it doesn't work in his favor immediately, what he can say is, hey, look, I can maybe get rid of some bases and start to, you know, even this game out a little bit, because you're just running rampant right now. You know, you're completely out of control. There's nothing to really stop you. So at least Ryung pushing up the map like this right now does kind of reset the tone a little bit and maybe get rid of a couple bases. But of course, it's maybe Reynor's best chance to jump on this army. The Brutes are quite far away though. The Infest is taking a while to get there. Oh, huge fungals though when they do get there. Now the Brutes show up as well. Reynor lost a lot. He really just engaged from the top left, I think, a bit too soon. However, I don't think there's any units to actually get rid of the Broodlords now, so the Broodlords can just clean up. And of course, the power of Reynor is that he has that massive bank. It probably wasn't really a good answer there from Ryung. I think at the end of the day is our true answer. And that's going to be GG's. Reynor takes map 1. Yeah, it's hard to say 1 best of 5 just kind of tells you that Clem's out and down and out, right? So... You know, especially that series, so like the last game didn't really mean much at all. It was very cool, it was a very cool mind game, but it doesn't say much about the styles of the players, right? In games 1 and 2, it's not like Clem was like unable to win. Like you say, he had good positions, he had chances. Just wasn't quite enough yesterday. Not necessarily worth changing your entire style up over. I mean, if that's a consistent, then sure, but I do feel like Reynor's gotten the better of Clem recently, but let's see what the actual history is. That's obviously game 2. Ryung does pick up the chance to play on Curious Minds. We'll see how that goes. It's interesting because it's a map Reynor doesn't mind as much. Yeah, Clem hasn't beat Reynor since January. Reynor's actually 3-0, 3-2, and 2-0 against him recently. I say recently, that's like... Obviously, yesterday 3-0, last month, 1st of May, Reynor 3-2, and then 2-0 in Katowice group stages. And Clem's definitely had the Reynor's definitely had the much better end of Clem. I mean, Clem had like a 10-12 series winning streak against him. Since then, Reynor was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 in series. So, yeah, maybe something's just clicked from Reynor. You know what I think it is? Actually, looking at that, I think that's the map pool change. I think that might have been the map pool change where Reynor started winning. Yeah, you know what? It actually is. Since the map pool change, so before the map pool change, Clem was like 12-0 against Reynor in a row. And since then, Reynor's 8-3 against Clem. So maybe they're both just so freaking good that maps have more of an influence on it than anything else. Right, like that's what the stats would actually point to, more than anything, I would say. Yeah, because I remember the 4-0 from Reynor was the first time the new maps were out, and we played them in a Wardi Cup, and he just destroyed Clem. And Clem was like, "Yeah, I don't know the maps well enough." And this map definitely has been, this map pool definitely has been a lot stronger for Zerg than it has been for Terran. You know, in the previous map pool, Terrans had a few good maps, right? They had Beckett Industries, which is really good for Terran, and a couple other options, but specifically. In this map pool, Zerg have 3 really good maps. Pride, Glittering, and Hardwire. And Zerg don't really mind playing on 2K, obviously. And Zerg don't really mind playing on Blackburn as much. At times, kind of depends on the style of the player. And I do feel like as well, Curious Minds and Berlingrad are also, while definitely good for Terrans, they're not quite as good for... They're not quite as bad for Zerg as some of the Zerg maps are as bad for Terrans, you know? Not to, I do hope we get new maps, but not specifically because of that. I think it's fine for the map pool to be a little bit kind of favoring one way than the other. But I think the thing is the map pool should change more, right? And then favor another race a little bit for a while, because it also takes a while to figure maps out. So for the first, if the map pool's around for 4 months and it's a little bit Zerg favor, it's like, yeah, whatever. But when it's around for like forever, it gets really figured out, then people keep on figuring out more things, and it becomes very difficult to come up with stuff to win on the maps that aren't favored for your race in certain matchups, right? Anyways, fun discussion that has nothing to do with this game. 4 minutes in, and we are curious minds in it up in this TVZ. Reynor is bottom right, Ryung is top left. Kaizi Gaming lead 2-1 in this best of 7. Solar takes on Prince for maps 5 and 6, just in case you're wondering. So definitely feels like Kaizi have the upper hand in terms of matches still to come, including in this one where they could guarantee themselves an ace match at the very least if Reynor was able to win. It does feel like for Team GP, this is a must-win for Ryung, because asking Prince to go 2-0 against Solar is already tough, but then to also win in an ace match, whoever that is, that's going to be very difficult. So it feels like Ryung kind of needs a map there, and then at least maybe if Prince doesn't go 2-0, you can maybe look at it and say, well, if Prince doesn't go 2-0, at least maybe we can get some look in the ace match or so, right? Maybe that's a little bit of a possibility. Maybe that's something that can happen, or something along those lines. Banshee is around and about. Queens are pushing this creep way up the map at the moment, and Ryung has not really been able to do much to stop it just yet, and just feel like kind of soon you got to start stopping that, right? Otherwise, we're going to be in some trouble. And the closer the creep gets to that Terran side of the map, the harder it's going to be to push back. And yeah, it's a small map, so it pushes back pretty quickly, as well. Obviously, it advances pretty quickly because it's a small map too, but just something to be a little concerned about. Aliens get around, able to pick off a single Zergling so far. Banelin speed is building as well. 1-1 upgrades on the side of Ryung are going to be ahead of Reynor's, as Reynor investing into that Bane speed initially in the lair. That generally means that's kind of what you go into instead of faster upgrades, so we are seeing exactly that. And we'll see if Ryung can maybe make something happen with the 1-1 timing. I mean, that's definitely how you win games against Reynor, I think, You kind of get in good with the initial timing, upgrade lead, gives you an advantage, and you take that advantage, you take that lead, and you really drive a wedge into it, and you keep on pushing it just further and further. Aliens, tank, Marines, just going to continue down and around the map. That's going to be maybe getting this little bit of a push going. Like I say, 1-1's going to be finishing soon, so if you can be in position to start causing big fights when 1-1 is done already, that's amazing. That is what Ryung is looking for. Bane speed isn't even done yet, so Reynor can't even do much to slow this down. It's kind of interesting, actually, because usually, the benefit of how Reynor's played is that you have Bane speed to help, but he didn't have it there, so Ryung does get forward a little bit because of the lack of Bane speed. Running down this ramp, these few Bane lanes getting picked off, so a couple of them go down very quickly. That gets surrounded. That's a nice catch from Reynor, just counterattacking, finding reinforcements. Slows down the power of this overall push, and that is huge in a game like this. And he hits the run by on the mineral line, so the third is in trouble. Buying time, weakening the attack, giving you a chance to get your own upgrades going. All of this is really nice. Ryung doesn't have a lot of SCVs. He's not building many more SCVs. He's very committed to this attack right now. He really said, right, let's send it. 4th and 5th barracks didn't have add-ons on them. Just pure Marine production to hit as quickly as possible. Can Reynor hold this off? He's thrown a few units at Ryung to kind of scare him, to slow him down, but now Ryung's pushing forward. But if he comes on a creep too quickly, the Banes can do well. And we are about half a minute away from 1-1, which is a major help for Reynor to be back on even upgrades here. His 30 worker lead is obviously putting out a lot of unit production. Ryung is on something of a timer here. It feels like he's got to go sooner rather than later. Otherwise, he might be in some trouble. Bane's running in. Oh, a bit of a flank as well from Reynor. What an engagement. It does happen maybe a little bit early, a few moments before 1-1, but when you win the fight like that anyway, does it really matter? No, it kind of doesn't. And Queens are here to help pick off these units. These medevacs are in trouble. Marines aren't going to do much. Reynor comfortably pushes this back now. And now Ryung doesn't really have the power. You know, this attack's meant to build on the first wave of the attack, you know, build up the second wave of the attack, but now it's been shut down one time. This is the risk of playing like this as Ryung. There's not much of a follow-up. There's not much longevity in a build like this one. And Reynor is going to have what he needs to take this down. The flanks were good. The engagements were good. GG's. And Reynor looking in fine shape for his ZVT, which is, of course, important for him because he's playing that DreamHack Finals later today. And, yeah, looks like he's going to be pretty nicely warmed up and looking good for that. I'm excited to watch that, of course, in a few hours' time. But he does put Kaizi Gaming 3-1 ahead now in this best of 7. Our maps 5 and 6 here will be between some ZVP action, as we have got in the bottom left corner Prince from Team GP. Needs a 2-0 to take his team to an ace match today, and that's currently the best they can hope for. Top right, one map will get the job done. Solar looking to close it out for Kaizi Gaming, push them up to another win in this league. Would join the 5-1 team again. 4 teams sit at 5-1 right now in the league. A win from Solar today now would send Kaizi Gaming to 5-1 as well. And just keeping the top part of this league ultra competitive, and a lot of these teams trading matches with each other as well. Just getting to be very exciting, getting to a really cool point in time. So hype to see how that's going to go down. Hype to see how the entire season plays out, of course. Yeah, we're getting quite deep in this season. It's kind of snuck up on us a little bit, but as we get deep into the season, it's really nice to just be able to be like, oh, well, you know, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, yeah, etc., etc. I think that's really cool. Start to really talk about the possibilities. Of course, every position matters in this league because, you know, even if you make playoffs, making playoffs in 3rd place versus 2nd place is huge because it's one entire less match you have to play in the playoffs. So, you know, basically every position you finish further up in the group guarantees you a higher finish. So if you're 1st place, the worst finish you can have in the league overall is top 2. If you finish the group in 3rd place, the worst you can have is top 4, right? And if you just make it into playoffs in 7th place, well, the worst you can do is 7th, right? So it just gives you that safety net, less matches to play, less chances for things to go wrong, for upsets or whatever else. And lets you focus on just playing kind of your last match or last couple matches if you do end up finishing really high up. Not impossible to go through the gauntlet and kind of take out all the teams that, you know, if you finish out low. But, yeah, definitely a definitely not an easy thing to get done. A lot of people asking just when DreamHack goes live today, guys. It looks like DreamHack goes live in about 3 hours from now. I'm not sure if that's exactly when the matches start. I think it might be. Yeah, that's when the matches starts. The DreamHack stream probably goes live in like a bit less than 3 hours. So probably like, say like 2.5 hours or 2 hours and 40 minutes or so will probably be the pre-show. That's probably what we're seeing today. So yeah, a little bit later start today because obviously it's just the lower finals and the grand finals. Don't worry though, guys. Like I say, we'll have World Team League to fill up at least a little bit of your time until then. Obviously can't guarantee we go the whole way. We'll obviously see how long the games last us, but we'll do our best to fill up as much as we can until DreamHack starts. That's our major goal. To keep you guys entertained today. So we see our Nexus coming through. Link speed is coming up over on the other side at the moment here, so getting that established early on. Gonna see our Dark Shrine is coming up, and that's gonna be Prince being a little bit sneaky as we get going in this PVZ, which Ron sets up in the back of the natural. Dark Shrine Gateway all coming down here. It's gonna be having, well, yeah, with this little cheeky play from Prince, a chance to maybe get himself ahead, see if he can put himself in a good position from here. mean, Solar is usually very well-rounded, and it is just kind of the speed of these DTs, right? They're warping in off a proxied gateway and everything, right? So they're coming as quickly as they possibly can from the setup. Let's see if they can catch Solar off guard. Spore Crawler finishing in the natural. The ones elsewhere, though, are not finished yet, so there is potential for damage to be done. Even this one in the natural, well, DT is going to get some damage done anyways. 4 drones going down. Yep, Spore in the third isn't ready, and there's no Spore in the main base, so this is a major issue for Solar. Solar's in some serious trouble already. 9 drones are dead. Make it 10. And now you're losing mining time. It actually looks like the Spore from the natural's moving into the main. And a new one will build on the natural. So it's a reasonable way of trying to start kind of dealing with this kind of, you know, further down the line now. But definitely not ideal. As the 2 DTs on the third base are starting to kill the Spore. It's going to unburrow. There's no units to kill off the DTs is the problem, even when the detection is around. That's the big issue, and geez, 13 drones and Prince is going to start off beautifully in this game. Number 1. Okay, getting it done at the moment. Exciting. I'm all down for that. I'm down for a little bit of that. It's that's fun. It's different, right? Very, very cool. Let's see our DT coming in, swiping a little bit. Let's try to see what will happen here. As you do have the blink on the way, +1 attack on the way, extra gateways coming through, a few stalkers are coming out, and we do see additional drones building up from Solar as well. Just getting all of that settled down to try and restabilize, but obviously having to spend a lot of time droning now. When this attack of the Protoss player hits you, you're not going to be as well set up as you should be, because you've been spending more time droning than you're meant to be, so you've had less time to produce units, less money to build units with as well. Definitely has an impact. Some Roach is still coming up in production, and just having ourselves the +1 missile attack starting up too. So we got a lot of investment into all of this, as we just have Prince already moving onto the map, and this is going to be our first real question of, can Solar survive? Is he going to be able to stay alive here or not? Well, like I say, we'll find out pretty soon as the Stalkers of Prince come across the map and start pushing in. Roaches, Ravages already taking damage. You blink back a little bit from those Stalkers. It's moving back just slightly, and now moving through, and these Roaches already taking a pretty heavy beating. We blinked forward aggressively. I mean, Prince just did so much with the DTs. The rush was unseen, and Prince is going to put GP onto a chance to get to an ace match. He wins the first. Solar will get map pick for map number 2, but well, Prince is halfway there. Maybe 40% of the way there, because obviously winning on Solar's map pick will be a little bit tougher, but he definitely gives GP a reason to hope, a reason to believe, and I like it, because it means that this series is... So we are going to go into Pride of Altara. Solar's map pick, no surprise that he picks Pride, really. I don't think... I mean, I'm not shocked about it. It's pretty much... I wonder what the actual percentage rate of this map being picked is when a Zerg loses map 1 in this league. That'd actually be a pretty cool stat to have, right? I'd be kind of down for that stat. That'd be pretty funky. Prince's bottom right, he needs 1 map to take this to an ace match. Solar top left needs 1 map to win the series for his team. And just a reminder that this is just the first of 2 best-of-7s we have live today in the World Team League. We do have, after this, the Freaks, the Guangdong Freaks, taking on the Storm Gaming squad. And honestly, the matchups have lined up really, really nicely for that series as well. It's going to be Trap versus Gumiho, which is really fun. If you remember Trap Gumiho from the TSL when they played in the first round, that was an awesome series, awesome best-of-3. Gumiho played amazing then. Then Armani plays special, former roommates, I'd say pretty well matched against each other as well. And Stu plays Max Pax, and I think that's the shaky one for me. I think Max Pax is looking good lately, but we'll see if Stu can come up with something to take him down. It's a hell of a set of games, no mirror matchups included. And that's coming up as soon as this best of 7 is rounded out, whether that's after Pride or after an ace match. That's what's going on. Dominator Boob, thank you so much for the Prime, for the 20-month resub. Welcome back. I do appreciate it, and hope you are feeling wonderful. Thanks so much for dropping the Prime on the channel. Well, probe from Prince heads up to the top side. Just going to see drones nibbling back a few minerals back to a hatchery, so making some progress over there. There's a couple queens, fuelings all continuing up. Adept is on the way, link speed coming through. Warp gate is building on the side of Prince as well. As the Overlord flies down, obviously there is a gold base early here from Prince, so mixing it up and going to proxy the Twilight Council. So not only is he going to take the gold base early, but then he's going to proxy his Twilight and see if he can trick Solar completely here once more. Huh. What do you guys think he actually goes for off the Twilight Council? I'm trying to think, maybe like he could just go like Glaives. Robo's back at home, so maybe it looks like you just get a Robo up defensively, and then actually it's like, boom, Glaive Adepts, bam, bam. Obviously, DTs are a possibility as well. Prince is looking up there, and it is going to be a Dark Shrine. Yeah, obviously, Dark Shrine, I guess, the obvious one, which is why I didn't want to talk about it right away. Because that's just what he did last time. But, yeah, I'm going to go into DTs again, and he still has just got to... Does he have to prep for it? I mean, if he sees the Robo at the front, he might just think he's okay, not immediately in trouble. But of course, I mean, the Twilight Council doesn't even have to be proxy. The Twilight Council could just be in the main base, so surely Solar has to have some kind of assumption as to what could possibly be in that main. Unless he really just truly believes, like, oh yeah, and a Robo facility producing here, that's it, that's good. If he can't figure out that there's gas missing, then he might, in fact, be in trouble. Let's see if he gets a Spore Crawler or two up in time this time, because, again, DTs could be game-ending here if Solar is not careful. Jordan will be coming up off to the side, about halfway done at the moment. The Fueling's trying to press forward, but not having much luck. There is the gateway to speed up the warping of the DTs on this side, but not ready straight away, so it'll be a slow warping. Last on, I'm pretty sure we've not seen Spore Crawlers yet, though, so... Oh, Solar sees the Twilight Council! You need to immediately start Spore Crawlers right now. Has he noticed that he's seen it? I don't think he noticed that he's seen it. He's on his way back there now. Yeah, too late. DT's already here, man. Too late. Spores start. Well, one spawn, the third base won't come up. As the Spore's not ready elsewhere, I think what's important is you get in and you do kill some amount of drones. I think that was what was really, really effective last time around, is that we just got in, we killed some drones straight away. It wasn't just kind of slow damage out on a hatchery. Although now we may actually try and just kill this third hatchery, and Solar is going to be in some trouble, guys. That said, I mean, he's actually maybe going to be able to deny the charge upgrade there. Is the Spore on the way down here? The Transfuse tries to keep it alive. One more Transfuse. The Spore is going to burrow moments late. However, can we catch all of the DTs? If we kill all the DTs, this might not be so bad. The Prism got zoned away by the Queens. I believe two of the three DTs, I think, went down. I think, obviously, you weren't really looking at them on the observer's view, so it's hard to say exactly, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Two DTs in the main don't do anything. I mean, Solar losing the base is obviously already a pretty huge deal. It's going to be tough to fight back from, but if you're trying to imagine a way Solar does get back, it does kind of come from, hey, you killed off some of the DTs. That's going to improve your position in this game now. That's going to make it easier for you to, it's less for you to deal with. It's more that your opponent has to build if they want to get some more Archons on the map, for example. Solar's been desperate to try and deny this charge, but he's just not been able to. And now getting Chrono Boosted, kind of looks as though charge will probably come online. Well, Roach is showing up as well. Wants to try and fight this. He's actually going to grab the Archon kill. Okay. Can he actually get rid of the Twilight Council? Go, 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 Solar. Oh, it's a few seconds away. I think it's going to finish up. Oh, it finished, right? I'm pretty sure it finished. Oh my god, that was so close. Honestly, you know when I was like, Solo, go! And he sat there still for a second? I actually think that just cost him denying charge. I think that just cost him denying charge. I think the charge did finish up. Those Zealots, yep, they've got charge. They had to confirm on the Chinese stream as well. Charge is done. I mean, that's crazy because obviously the effectiveness of this entire army is horrendous if you don't have charge. But, yeah, that's obviously going to give Prince at least a chance then with this army still. Still getting back to his third base. At least has denied the Dark Shrine, killed off those DT/Archon, which means that he's taken away as much possibility as he can of there being perhaps a, oh, hello. Taking away as much possibility as he can of there potentially being a, you know, further Archons in the army, which can obviously be frustrating to deal with. Prince does end up expanding to the third location as his next base. Going to leave his natural for a later time and just defend the third base location for the moment instead, as he's already holding the gold. I guess holding the third isn't that much more difficult. Or at least that's the idea. Disruptor's in production, and Solar, he's got a lot of units. Kind of feels like Solar wants to go across the map and attack, but then he's not 100% sure about it. Disruptor moving around a little bit. Focus coming in, grabbing an Overseer. Just going to be seeing the couple of Disruptors continuing out at the moment. The Queens do get there. The Observer gets picked off, so the Overseer is able to kill that off. Just going to be seeing the Ling. We're going to go pick away at that gateway on the top. Which is still moving through here, and the Disruptors still gathered up together as well. Kinda, like, am I surprised Prince didn't just commit to an attack? Maybe not when he lost the Dark Shrine, the Proxy Gate. You know, things didn't exactly go well for him from there, but, looking kinda cool. So Gazelle coming up, Roach already being hit a little bit, gets pushed back there, and just going to continue to chase those Roaches down. Ravage is coming forward, getting rid of those Zealots. The extra Zealots in the main base now going to come through. Going to fight in, and that's going to be a nice little counterattack. We saw all these Banelings showing up, and that's a dead mineral line. Oh my god, Observer! Oh god! Observer made me feel sick before the Banelings even connected. I guess better than feeling sick after they connect, as they're disgusting connections. This army from Seoul honestly looks reasonable enough to fight this, but it really depends on what the Disruptors can do. But now the Disruptors are all on cooldown. Seoul's going to get forward and start killing those Disruptors off. These Immortals are stuck as well. Roaches are body blocking this army from getting away. A single Ling had that Immortal trapped as well. One last Disruptor shot perhaps, as Prince tries to survive. Don't get me wrong, the Zealots are doing great in the main of Solar, but yeah, I mean, that's the biggest issue. Solar actually fully pulls back to deal with that. I don't mind that choice at all, because it does feel like that is the do or die kind of position at the moment. Actually, main base does die. You know, all the Zealots are now gone. Solo might just be able to get across the map. It has at least bought Prince time to get extra Disruptors out. That's obviously a pretty big deal right now. Goes a long way. Feeling still running down the right side and just can't set up. Disruptor shots, bam, bam. Ooh. Painful as they get rid of some of the Morphing Banes. This Disruptor shot, decent as well. A couple of Ravages. That's what you need as Prince at the moment. Disruptor shots to connect, to be able to work wonders. Another shot into Ravager and a few Zerglings that end up falling as well. This Force of Prince still set up in the center. And a few Banelings. Where are they going to go? Where are you guys going to end up? Gonna move around this side. The battery is gonna fall. These few Stalkers picking away at the Banelings. 9 probes do go down. Solo continues to do well there. Wolfing in more Banes already. I think Solo obviously would have really liked to just go and end this, but the Disruptors make it difficult. And that's the strength of playing Disruptors. He finds a Colossus now as well. That's also going to make it tough on these Zerglings. These Banes that are rolling toward the third base might be the most important thing, as they will try to knock down this economy again. He's going to get it. He probably, I was going to say, could have maybe got the Nexus if everything had gone off near the Nexus, but it wasn't actually close at all. Units coming through. I'm just going to see our Roger Rabbit coming in. Disruptor shot doesn't quite land. Just going to see another shot coming through. A couple of Rogers getting hit. I mean, again, the Disruptors are the key to this from Prince. I just don't know if he's got enough. Lings are streaming in from every single side. The Disruptor shots are all gone. And now they're going to blow up as the Bane's going to wrap around on them. Prince was tricky. He actually had a pretty good start of this game, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to take it down. That's going to be GG's. Solar will finish the series off in favor of Kaizi Gaming. Kaizi Gaming will take it 4-2 today. Another win on the board. They're going to move up and stay in the top 5 of the league. They are 5th place because of their points. They've been to the ace match a few too many times. But, yeah, just still a great place to be in. And next, we actually have the 2 teams in 6th and 7th place in the league. Sidestorm Gaming against the Kwangdong Freaks. That's coming up in just a few short moments, so we'll be getting into that, featuring